The day was supposed to be one of joy. But as I stood at the doorstep, my heart shattered. The day's perfect without you. My mother's words echoed in my mind, cutting deeper than I ever thought possible. I wasn't just excluded, I was erased, and somehow I was okay with it. My name is Grace, and I always thought my family was everything. Growing up, I was always told I was special, that I was the one who would make them proud. But today, on my sister's wedding day, I was nothing more than an outcast. I had hoped for a miracle, maybe a sign that things could change. I stood there in front of the house, my heart pounding, my hands shook, clutching the invitation in my pocket like it could somehow shield me from what was about to happen. I had spent hours getting ready, trying to look presentable for the day that was supposed to be full of joy, a day I was supposed to share with my family. But deep down, I knew I didn't belong. Not anymore. I swallowed hard and pushed open the door. The smell of fresh flowers hit me first, then the sound of laughter, people mingling, celebrating. For a second, I thought maybe I was wrong. Maybe they didn't really mean it when they said I shouldn't come. Maybe I could just slip in, pretend like everything was normal, and enjoy the moment. But then I saw her, my mother, standing at the front, watching me with a look I couldn't quite decipher. And then she spoke, her voice cold and calculated. "The day's perfect without you." I froze. The words sliced through me, leaving me speechless. I wanted to scream, to argue, to beg her to take it back. But I didn't. I couldn't dot my sister, standing beside my mom, barely looked my way. Her smile was the kind of smile you give when you've already made your decision. The kind that says everything and nothing at the same time. "Grace, don't you think it's best you leave?" My mom's words dripped with false sweetness, like she was doing me a favor. I felt like I was suffocating. The walls seemed to close in on me. This wasn't the family I'd grown up with. This wasn't the love I had always been promised. I wasn't a part of their world anymore. But even as the tears welled up, I held them back. I wasn't going to cry in front of them. Now, not when they had already made it clear I was nothing to them. I took a step back, my mind racing. What was there left to say when even your own family can't see your worth? I turned, walking out the door, the laughter and music fading behind. I sat in my car, the engine running, but I couldn't bring myself to drive away. The sight of my sister's wedding was so close, yet I felt miles away. Through the windshield, I could see the guests laughing, glasses clinking, and the bright white of her dress glowing in the soft light. And I was sitting in a car alone, rejected. I wiped at my eyes, trying to push the tears back, but it didn't help. My chest felt tight, like I couldn't breathe. Why did it hurt so much? I asked myself, even though I knew the answer. I had been pushed out, shut out, ignored. But this was worse than anything I could have imagined. I could feel the sting of my mother's words replaying in my mind over and over again. The day's perfect without you. Okay? And they were, weren't they? Perfect without me. They didn't need me to make the day work. Did they ever need me? My hands gripped the steering wheel tightly, my nails digging into my palms. I wasn't sure if I wanted to scream or break down in sobs. Maybe both. I glanced at my phone, seeing the picture of my sister and my mom smiling together, posted online. A few friends had already commented. "Such a beautiful family, and the wedding looks amazing." I stared at that picture. A perfect family. That's what everyone saw. But that was a lie. It wasn't in the picture. I wasn't even a part of this family anymore. I leaned back against the seat, my head hitting the headrest. How had everything gone so wrong? Was I really invisible to them all this time? My sister, the one I thought I could trust, stood there in that perfect dress, smiling, as if nothing had ever happened. As if we had never fought, as if she didn't know the truth that Mom had orchestrated all of this without me. How had we gotten here? How had I been so blind? I had spent my whole life trying to please them, trying to be the daughter they wanted. I had followed every rule, played the perfect part, But it was never enough. Not for them and my sister. She didn't even glance my way when I walked out. Not a word, not a look of sympathy. She just went on with her day, like nothing had changed. Like nothing had happened. But everything had changed. I couldn't fight for myself when I had been invisible for so long. I had spent years hoping they would see me, hoping they would love me. But today, they had made it clear I wasn't worth fighting for. I looked back at the celebration. I should leave, I thought. They've already forgotten me. What's the point in staying? But the question lingered in my mind. Could I ever stop fighting for them? Could I really walk away from the people I had once called family? I sat there, in silence, the tears finally falling. I had nothing left to give them, and that realization hurt more than anything else. I sat there for what felt like hours, my mind swirling with anger and confusion. For so long, I had played the role of the good daughter, the one who followed every rule, who made everyone proud. But what did that get me? Rejection? Heartbreak? Was I just supposed to keep taking it? No, not anymore. I clenched my fists. I was done being invisible. I deserved better than this, and for once, I wasn't going to let their cruelty slide. I wasn't going to stay silent anymore. I stormed into the house, my heart pounding in my chest. The wedding had barely started, but I didn't care. I wasn't going to stand outside anymore. Watching from the sidelines while they acted like nothing was wrong, I found my mom in the living room, her perfect smile faltering as she saw me. "Grace, what are you doing here?" She said it like she was surprised to see me. I couldn't help it. I was shaking with anger. "What the hell, Mom?" My voice was louder than I meant it to be, but it felt good. "You kicked me out, but here I am." "I'm not leaving." She sighed, a look of frustration crossing her face. "Grace, this isn't the time." "No," I interrupted, stepping closer. "Done. Done with being your perfect little girl. Done with being invisible. All I ever wanted was to be a part of this family. But no matter what I do, you make it clear I don't belong." Mom's expression hardened. "Grace, you don't understand." "I don't understand." I spat, voice trembling with fury. "No, you don't understand. I spent years being nothing to you. For once, I want answers. Why am I always the one left out?" Before she could respond, I saw my sister standing in the doorway, her face pale. "Grace, you don't want to do this," she said, voice quiet, but pleading. I stared at her, the anger in my chest only growing. "Oh, I don't want to do this." "Well, guess what? I've been doing it for years. Always the outsider, always ignored. But now, I'm done being quiet." I turned back to my Mom, tell me the truth. What happened? Why did you treat me like I didn't matter? My mother's face shifted, and for the first time I saw something that looked like guilt. She looked at my sister, then back at me. "Grace," she started, her voice cracking. "There's something you need to know, your sister." I felt my stomach drop. "What? What's going on?" My sister stepped forward, her face flushed with emotion. "Grace, I didn't want to hurt you. But I was just trying to protect you. Protect all of us." I was confused. Protect us from what? What are you talking about? Mom took a deep breath, her hands shaking. "It was something that happened a long time ago. Something I kept from you. It's why we pushed you away." My heart started pounding harder. "What happened?" I whispered, too afraid to hear the answer. My mother looked me in the eyes, her voice barely a whisper. "It was your sister. She's the one who convinced me to shut you out. She said it was better this way. She told me if we didn't, things would fall apart." I turned to my sister, the betrayal cutting deeper than I could have imagined. "You did this? You pushed me away." Her eyes filled with tears, but she nodded. "I'm sorry, Grace. I thought I was doing the right thing." The weight of her confession hit me like a punch. This wasn't just about a wedding or rejection anymore. This was about everything I had been blind to. My sister, the person I thought I could count on, had been the one to tear us apart. I couldn't breathe. My world felt like it was crumbling, and I didn't know how to hold it together anymore. But something inside me shifted. I wasn't going to let this define me. I was stronger than I'd been before. The truth hurt, but now I could see things clearly. The truth was out. Everything I had buried deep inside me, all the questions I had asked for years, had finally come to light. I could see it in my mother's eyes, the guilt, the fear, the crack in her armor that she'd worked so hard to maintain. For so long, I had assumed her harshness was just her nature, her way of controlling everything. But it wasn't that. It was a mask. It's a mask to cover up the truth that she'd been hiding for years. I never wanted it to be this way, she said, her voice trembling, though she tried to sound calm. I stood in front of her, the words burning in my chest. Then why did you push me out? I demanded. Why did you make me feel like I didn't matter? She didn't answer at first. She just looked at me, her face pale. It was as if everything I'd said had hit her harder than any physical blow. I did it for you, she finally said, but her words felt hollow. I thought it would be easier. I thought you'd be better off without all of this, without the pressure, without the chaos. And what about me? Couldn't hold back the anger anymore. What about my feelings? Couldn't. Did you ever think about how I would feel? Being pushed aside like I was nothing? She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. I could see the weight of her own guilt was choking her. It was too late for excuses. And then my sister stepped forward, her face tight with tension. Grace, stop, she said, but I was done listening. To her, too. No, you don't get to tell me to stop anymore, I shot back, my voice shaking but firm. You, of all people, don't get to tell me what to do. You're the one who made this happen. You're the one who convinced Mom that I wasn't worth having around. My sister flinched, but she didn't back down. I did what I thought was best, she whispered, her voice cracking. I don't need your apologies. Lena, I said, my words cutting through the air. I don't need any of this fake, perfect family crap anymore. I'm not your puppet to control. I'm not your project to fix. My mother's eyes widened, and for the first time in years, I saw a flicker of vulnerability in her gaze. She reached out as if she was going to touch me, but I stepped back, holding my ground. No more, I whispered. No more pretending. The words hung heavy in the air. I wasn't going to beg for their approval anymore. I wasn't going to cry for their love. If they couldn't see my worth by now, then that was their loss. The room was silent, the weight of everything we had just uncovered hanging between us. But I could feel something shifting in me, something that had been buried under layers of hurt and doubt for so long. You know what, Mom? You were right about one thing, I said, my voice steady now. I don't need this anymore. I don't need any of you. And with that, I turned and walked out of the room, not looking back. Not once. Outside, the world felt different. I could feel the cold air on my face, but for the first time in years, it didn't sting. It felt like freedom. By the time I reached my car, I realized something important. I had one. I had found my strength. They were the ones who had broken everything, not me. I wasn't the one in pieces anymore. They were Dot, and for the first time in forever, I felt whole.